Hello, I am Hatu of Asian Agribiz, welcoming you to another of our podcasts. Today, Asian Pork Magazine editor Isa Q. Tan talks with Dr. Rolando Cruz about the diseases that continue to plague pig producers and what producers can do to address them. Dr. Cruz is Biochem Zusatzstoffe Regional Cell Manager for Asia Pacific and a veterinary consultant in Southeast Asia.
Hi, Dr. Cruz. Thank you for joining me for today's podcast.
Yeah, thank you also for inviting. It's my privilege.
For several years now, ASF has dominated the pig industry worldwide. However, there are other pig diseases that continue to hound the industry, particularly here in Asia Pacific. I'd like to discuss with you what are the three top diseases besides ASF that producers should be worried for and be most prepared for, what they can do to prevent it and or minimize disease incidence. But before we start with the questions, can I ask you to please give our listeners a short background about yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Dr. Roland Cruz. I'm a graduate of veterinary medicine at De La Salle Araneta University. Professionally, I've been in practice for swine production for the past 25 years. I also been with different animal health, feed additive, and genetic company, and currently I'm connected with Biochem Germany in handling the Asia Pacific. So I should say that my passion is definitely producing pigs.
Okay. Can I go ahead and ask you what are the three main diseases that pig producers in Asia Pacific should be looking out for and preparing for besides ASF?
So let me say it this way. It all depends on what countries. Because like for example, if you're talking of Vietnam, if you're talking of Korea, that's totally different. If you ask me the top three, so there will be a variation out of the top three because I should say that Korea is more cleaner than the other countries, and the infrastructure building is totally different from one country to another. In the Philippines, or for example in Vietnam, because most of the infrastructure farms are not that good as compared to other developed countries. So the top three should be PRRS, which is I'm a little bit worried about this because some sign of ASF is comparable to PRRS. That's the problem. So another thing is the HPS, the Glasser's disease, and the PCB. So these are the pre-ASF concern. Okay, but of course, after ASF, should be the concern also because moving forward that we're able to manage already ASF. So these three particular diseases will definitely be a factor in mortality and morbidity of our pigs.
Okay, so for Vietnam and the Philippines, those three PRRS, Glassers, and PCV2
Yeah,
would be the biggest concerns.
that's right. Because the disease complex depends on the location and structure of the farm. So in some cases, of course, in some cases, PED is number two, not the HPS. It depends really on the location and the infrastructure of the farm.
Okay. Can you discuss with me some key strategies that producers can take to prevent disease spread and minimize it and its impacts if they do get hit?
Actually, modesty aside, it's very easy. Never overload the farm. That's the most important thing. Never overload the farm. If the farm capacity is 1,000 sows, don't go beyond 1,000 sows. Because most of the time, especially if the price of pork is very good, our tendency is to increase more on the population without looking at the exact required density of the farm itself or the building itself. So never overload the farm. That's one thing. Revisit the farm structure. It should be in line with proper biosecurity. So example is fencing. Even if you have a good biosecurity in your farm, but you're open, an open farm at the back of your farm, So it defeats the purpose of the the efficient biosecurity. So you have to fence the farm. You have to secure the farm. Let me say it that way. Another one is use proper vaccine and vaccination program. So most of the time, they use a vaccine, but it is not in line with the vaccination strategy or the program itself. Like for example, if you have to put it on the third week or fourth week, and then you put it on the first week or the fifth week. So there's an error on that kind of strategy. So you have to make it assured that you use proper vaccine at the same time the vaccination should be in line with the way on how to manage the mortality or to minimize the mortality or the morbidity. Of course, this all in all out. This is very important. So all in all out, but of course you're not able to go for all in all out if your farm is overload. So it connects these both suggestions or strategies. Regular serology testing should be done at least quarterly or every 6 months, because some farms doesn't do the serological testing. They just do serological testing if the problem is already there. That's the most problem that I encountered in swine production. I'm not a fan of cross fostering. That's one thing for sure, because of the PRS issue. But I still prefer the split suckling instead of the cross fostering. So that's my experience towards managing swine. And last thing is water and feed sanitation is a must, especially now that we have so many problems. We have so many blind spot that we need to identify. So in order to at least more or less lessen those factors that influence mortality or morbidity, so water and feed sanitation should be in place.
Okay. You mentioned vaccination, and there are so many vaccines available in the market. How can producers choose the right vaccine? What would be their gauge that they are using the correct vaccine and are using it, as you said, at the time that they are supposed to be using it?
Personally, my opinion on that is every vaccine is good actually. There's no superior vaccines or not superior vaccines. It only boils down to how you manage the program or how do you implement the program. At the same time, how you manage the farm. It's not more on the quality of the vaccine, but it's more on you vaccinate, but you have to take care of the pig as well. It's not the end of the game once you vaccinate.
Okay, so many producers, they seem to find vaccination kind of like a silver bullet, and that
Yeah,
should not be
yeah,
the
that's
case.
that's
Okay.
definitely right.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
now people are starting to learn how to coexist with ASF, and they are starting to repopulate and rebuild. And this is, I guess, not just with ASF, but with other diseases as well. After they've been hit and they are now going to be recovering, repopulating, and rebuilding, what would be the main advice you would give them so that they can avoid potential outbreaks again?
Three main suggestion. Basically, number one. This is the number one. This is the most important thing. Secure the farm. You cannot prevent outbreak if your farm is an open farm, open for anything. You have to secure. You have to make it assured that dogs, cats, chickens, and all those things will not go into your farm from one farm to another. So even if your farm is, for example, is 500 or 1 kilometer away from another farm, which is here in the Philippines, is very common, and also in Vietnam, especially on the mid-scale farm or the backyard farm. In order for you to be safe, so you have to secure the farm that even if there are contaminants outside, it will not go inside your farm. That's the main bottom line of this. So revisit the farm structure and repair. So don't repopulate if you are not prepared. That's one thing for sure. This is the dilemma here in the Philippines, because what they're thinking is that after 6 months or after 1 year of vacant farms and fully disinfected farms, then everything will be fine. Without reviewing the infrastructure, without securing the farm, then the risk is very high. So you have to identify the blind spot, and you have to make it assured that before you introduce new breeding stocks or new pigs inside the farm, it should be a well fenced or well protected farm in terms of, for example, biosecurity. And next is gradual increase in production. So don't go, don't be hot on introducing 1,000 or 2,000 sows at one at a time, one time. No, you have to do it gradually, because you have to see if there is still, remnants of these particular problems inside the farm. So if for example, if the forecast is, if the farm, for example, say, okay, I want to rebuild my farm because historically they're into 1,000 farms, then okay, let's have 100 sows first, 200 sows first, then let's see after a couple of months, then we increase it. So you increase it gradually, and you're able to more or less be proactive in terms there's a problem, you know. So with the maximum biosecurity, of course. So gradual increase of production with the maximum biosecurity implementation. And the third one is proactive testing and efficient vaccination and medication. That's the basic things that we need to do in order to really manage the pigs. Because normally pigs will just sleep and eat, and everything is within us. So we don't blame it to the pigs, we blame it to the farm owners. Because they just eat again and drink and sleep. So if they caught some diseases, so probably there are animals or moving animals that bring the virus inside the farm, or people itself will bring in this virus inside the farm. So we have to secure the farm and implement biosecurity.
So it's always biosecurity and good management together.
Yeah, that's together, because again, most of the seminars and topics they all discuss about biosecurity. But the problem with biosecurity, it's a very broad term. Biosecurity is just not 1 to 10; it's 1 to 50, something like that. So if you really want to implement biosecurity, you have to have a checklist of 1 to 50, not only 1 to 10. So that's why most of the farm are already depressed, saying that, oh, we already implemented the biosecurity. Why is it we still been hit by ASF? Biosecurity is not just a simple biosecurity. It should be a holistic and very you have to scrutinize all the blind spot.
Okay, so it's not just a matter of getting a checklist of what you need to do and checking and making sure that you did it, and then it's over.
Yeah, that's right. Because I give you a classic example. One farm is they said it's a biosecured farm. Okay, they have the trucks, different trucks inside, different trucks outside. You have to have 3 showers and all those stuff. Perfect. But the problem is that the farm is not fenced. So the back door, the moving animals is going one farm to another. So they've been hit also. So that's not how simple biosecurity is. You have to do a mapping, like a top view mapping of the farm, and see where's the blind spot. And then at the end of the day, you will see, oh, this is where the contaminants were going through.
Okay. After the experience with ASF, do you see farmers changing, becoming more attentive to management and biosecurity practices as you have enumerated?
Yeah, hopefully, because the problem is the consolidation. Most of the backyard will more or less, I hope I'm wrong, will disappear, and those commercial farms that are into biosecurity will survive. That's the problem. That's why sometimes, or most of the time, when they ask me what is my forecast or what is the situation that I'm looking in 3 years' time, then it's all about vaccination. If we have the ASF efficient and effective vaccination, then that's the day one. of the very accurate forecast. But without the vaccine, everything is still under evaluation. Because of course, if you're a farm owner and you've been hit 3 times already, then I don't know if biosecurity will still be an option to consider in producing pigs again.
Okay. Let me end by asking you, how do you see the pig industry in Southeast Asia, particularly Vietnam, the Philippines, playing out in 2023?
2023, those big farms will become bigger. Those small farms will more or less become smaller in terms of a number of farms. There will be a consolidation. That's my forecast without the vaccine. But of course, if there's a vaccine, then everybody will, even a small scale farm will go into production again because there are already vaccine. But without the vaccine, my thinking or my impression in the next 1 or 2 or 3 years is that those farms that can manage biosecurity can survive and can expand the way in as much as they want, because they were able to manage the problem.
Okay, so they're really coexisting already with other diseases and other problems that they may have.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's like this. It's like a war. Those person who has already a gun will definitely survive. But those who are just having knife, we definitely will not survive. So I think it's more or less how farms are prepared in this battle, and yeah, and then we'll see. But with the current situation that I have with the repopulation, it's very hard to see backyard increasing their population.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your insights with me today, Dr. Cruz. And I hope that you can join us again for a future podcast.
Yeah, no problem. It's always been my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Indeed, consistent and good management and biosecurity are key to keeping herds healthy. We hope you enjoyed today's podcast. To listen to more informative podcasts and to get updated information on Asia's animal protein industry, please visit our website at www.asian-agribiz.com. Please join us again in our future podcasts.